This truck is $87,000. So I'm at a Jeep Dodge Ram dealership today because they just reported earnings and they were terrible. Their net income dropped by 48%.
Stellantis reporting profit fell nearly 50% in the first half of the year compared to a year ago.
This Grand Wagoneer is $110,000.
Stellantis, as you see, also moving sharply lower. By the way, been a brutal week for the automaker's stocks.
So the CEO of Stellantis said that these earnings were humbling and disappointing. It almost sounded like he was trying to sound like he was surprised.
You, of course, are accountable to the shareholder, and the stock is down by 9%, as you know.
All right, so I just want you to check this out. Look at this, full line of trucks. This line right here, full line of trucks. Over here, another line, full line of trucks. You've got more trucks sitting over there that goes all the way, and guess what? This is their used storage lot. I did want to check out one of these heavy duty trucks. This is a 2500. I want to see if, there you go. Turbo diesel, it's a Cummins Laramie Night Mega Cab, $89,000. Whew, that's a lot of money. And then on the backside over there, you got more trucks. There's not one used vehicle in this used vehicle lot. All brand new. They're running out of room. They can't take more trucks. All right, so here's a big problem we're seeing at these dealerships. We're seeing, okay, they have 2025s coming out. They still have tons of 2024s sitting around their lots. They have 2023 still sitting in their lots. And on top of that, I've been to a dealership recently and I've seen brand new 2022 trucks still sitting on dealers' lots. All right, and I just went through all of these, and all of these right here are all $85,000. That's what they cost. So one thing that's interesting that the CEO said is that they're not building the right kind of vehicles for this market. And I say that when I'm walking in front of a massive line of Wagoneers. And guess what? On this side, more Wagoneers. And this is a big example, what you can see right here on this dealership, of them missing the mark. This is not where the consumer wants to be. They don't want to be in these $80, $90, $100,000 massive SUVs. They want something more affordable. And Jeep, they have not been able to provide that to their consumers, and because of that, their sales are suffering. All right, so I've been to this dealership quite a few times, and I always like to keep track of how many Wagoneers they have here. So let's say about a year ago, maybe they would have 4 or 5, and then we go back 6 months, okay, they've got 10. Now, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 of these Wagoneers on this dealership, and I can guarantee not one of them is going to be less than $80,000. So you probably got somewhere around $1.7 to $1.8 million worth of Wagoneers sitting here collecting dust. That's a lot of lot rot. That's a lot of money in lot rot. That's a lot of interest in lot rot. I want to show you this one. This one right here is a Grand Wagoneer, Obsidian model. Price is $110,000 for this thing. All right, so check out all of these Jeep Grand Cherokees. This is going to be your average family's SUV for Jeep, and this is the Altitude model. And for that, the average family, for the average SUV, is paying $53,000. That's how much it costs. Gross. So the CFO came out and said that they're going to be reducing production and pricing. Reducing pricing is a great thing, but let's talk about this production thing. So anytime any of these companies come out and say, okay, we're going to limit the production, what does that mean? They're going to limit labor also. So there's going to be a lot of job cuts. And we've already seen that Stellantis has laid off a lot of workers, a lot of union workers.
Well, it is highly discouraging news for Motown tonight after last week's Stellantis investor meeting. CEO Carlos Tavares promised a massive cost-cutting effort. And it's looking as though it will mean considerable job loss for Metro Detroit.
And what's coming now is there's going to be even more. And they've paid more money in the last year to their labor, and that's going to be some of the first that gets cut. And that's unfortunately a reality of the situation. When your dealers aren't selling trucks, you can't manufacture as many trucks because the dealers aren't going to take them. If you can't sell them, you don't need to make them. If you don't need to make them, people have to lose their jobs, and that's what's coming up. probably in a big way over the next couple quarters. So I did want to point out something that you're not going to see at GM or Ford right now, and that's a minivan. So this is something that that Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Chrysler, that's what they have, and I'm just interested to see how much it costs. It's a 2024 Pacifica Limited, and price is $57,000, even for a minivan. I mean, I've been whining about these SUVs, third row SUVs. You've got a big family, you need a third row. The big SUVs are really the only route to go, and they're $70,000, $80,000, $90,000. But even if you want to take the cheap route, which is the minivan, still $55,000. All right, I want to show you a big problem for Stellantis going forward, for Ram, for Jeep, for Dodge. All right, this is your Ram 1500 truck, Hemi, e-torque, all good, all well and good, right? Here's the problem: $87,000. Prices are too high. People are not, they can't come buy that truck. Monthly payment, what's it going to be? $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a month on that truck? People can't afford it right now. You're not going to be able to sell trucks like that when the prices are that high, when the interest rates are where they are, and where the monthly payments are. You can't do it. So now, in true Stellantis fashion, the CEO said they're looking for something to blame, right? Other than him making bad decisions, right? So they said that he wanted to blame a lot of this on some of the U.S. plants making too many vehicles that needed too many repairs before they can get delivered.
When your CEO comes to town from Europe saying,
we have at least 2 plants in the U.S. that need a significant turnaround. At least 2.
Well, you know what? I don't think that comes down to workers. That's more of an operational thing. I also don't think that that's the problem, right?
he's aiming at this building right here.
It's we're making trucks that are too expensive, that people don't want to buy, that dealers can't take. This is the problem, and it just seems like quarter after quarter after quarter, there's always an excuse of why they're not putting up the numbers that they want to put up, why they're not putting up the profitability that they're wanting to put up, and why their stock is really rolling over right now is because shareholders, they're seeing through the numbers, they're seeing through what's going on, and they're seeing that the market is in bad shape. And it's not something that Stellantis is going to say. They're not going to come out and say, hey, we made a bunch of mistakes, we're in a bad way right now, we need to change everything that what we're doing because what we've been doing is completely wrong and this market's not going to support it. No, you're not going to hear that from the CEO, the CFO, but that's really what needs to be said. But the truth is not what happens during these earnings calls typically. All right, so check this out. I am in the middle of a storage lot for a lot of these fleet trucks for Ram, and really for all the big 3 auto manufacturers right now. This is what's keeping them afloat. This is all fleet. This is what they'll sell to businesses. This is what they'll sell to cities, to counties, to states. This is really how they're making a lot of their money right now. The retail side of things is getting weaker and weaker and weaker, but we still have businesses that are spending money to load up their fleets. And this is why you see a field of all of these same trucks right here. And here we go, we got one right here. I want to actually show you the price of what one of these fleets will actually sell for. So this is a 2023 Ram 1500 Classic Tradesman Crew Cab 4x4, and the price on it, $50,000. Now, they're probably going to get a discount because they're buying a lot of them at a time. They're going to be paying less than that, but still, if you're looking at like bare bones stuff, it's a 4-wheel drive, 4-door truck, but it's going to be pretty much as bare bones as you can get. It's even called the Ram 1500 Classic. Nobody wants to buy a Ram Classic. That's not cool, but this is the bare bones kind of truck, and still the price tag coming out of these manufacturers, $50,000. This is a problem. All right, so right here behind me, you can see an allocation trade-off right here at this dealership. So we know these Dodge Hornets, they're like the worst selling things in this market right now. So what happens is that the distribution will come to this dealership and say, okay, if you'll take some of these Dodge Hornets we can't move, then we'll give you the better selling of the vehicles out there. I don't even know for Dodge, Jeep, Ram what the best selling thing is, if anything you can say is best selling. But what happens is So they'll take extra of these Dodge Hornets that they know that they're not going to move fast. I mean, look at them. Some of the worst selling vehicles on the market, and they've got 7 of them sitting right here. And if they take these, then they'll get some of the more desirable vehicles. And this is the trade-off that a lot of dealerships actually do. There's another one right there. That's what these dealerships will actually do with their distribution managers or whatever. To be able to get better vehicles, they have to take the crappy ones. And this creates a bunch of problem for a lot of these dealerships, because then they're stuck with a lot of vehicles that they can't sell. But if they don't take those vehicles that they can't sell, then they can't get the ones that they can sell. Big problem. But you know what? If you look at these dealerships, these Jeep, Dodge, Ram dealerships, and you see all the vehicles that are sitting around, if you look at their storage lots, this dealership has a used lot all the way on the other side. There's not one used vehicle on that used lot. It's all brand new Ram trucks. They're running out of space to put these things. Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Stellantis has to know that these dealerships are turning down allocations. And as this is coming through the market, as dealerships continue to turn down allocations because they're not moving these vehicles, yeah, it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. Humbling, I don't know if that's the right word, but we got to change some stuff, and things are not getting changed. The right kind of vehicles are not being produced by these manufacturers. And this is an easy example. Just look at all of these Jeep Cherokees, Grand Wagoneers. These are the things that are not selling right now. So now, how did the analysts look at this call? Well, they don't like it, and they are predicting that more of these troubles are going to continue for Stellantis. They're going to continue for the rest of the big three, because what do they know? They know that the market's not getting any better anytime soon. They know that these dealerships, just like what we're seeing right here, are filled to the brim. And when they're doing that, they can't take cars. Stellantis, GM, Ford, they're not going to be able to sell as many as what they were selling. We're already seeing weakness on the wholesale side. Now we have seen that, okay, some of these fleet vehicles, they're making money on the fleet side. There's still a lot of fleet customers up there, but that could be a short-term thing. As all these companies get filled back up from the production shortages, from not being able to load their fleets, when that cuts off, then it's going to be big bad news for a lot of these companies. And Stellantis is probably in the worst shape, not probably, Stellantis is definitely in the worst shape of the big three as far as getting vehicles to customers, because they're too expensive. It seems like people do not want to go with a higher price Ram versus a F-150 versus a Silverado. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for these dealers to move things, and it's going to lead to more incentive spend from the manufacturer. And that just means less money, less margin that they actually get to keep on the back end. And they're still not selling. So what are those dealerships supposed to do? I mean, they can't, the manufacturer can't help them on this. There are not any incentives that a manufacturer is going to be able to really give these dealers on their 2022s. I mean, those floor plan costs, those dealers are already sunk so far into those trucks that they're not going to make money on them. And they basically have to give those trucks away to even move them when you have 3 and 4 model years coming out after that truck that's sitting on the lot. It's absolutely insane. So now executives said that, okay, well, our new models coming out should help profitability. But you know what? Not if dealers can't take them. So here's the thing. If we still have 2022, 2023, 2024 trucks sitting on these lots, when the new 2025s come in, these dealers are not going to be able to take as many as the manufacturer wants them to take. So if they can't take as many, they're not going to make as much money. So this is going to be a big problem for Stellantis going forward. So yeah, maybe they can make more money per truck on the ones that are coming out, but if the dealers can't take them, it doesn't matter.